Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy 13 walkthrough. We are in the middle of the... I think this is considered the Tesseracts. And, alright, so I decided to stop and fight a couple of these sacrifice enemies really quickly here. I saw the opportunity was there to get a preempted, so I could not resist. We are going to continue on after this. In the previous video there, I actually mentioned this this area, not actually this specific one, but some of these kind of like, I guess you could call them branches, are not available at all times. You know, once we progress to a certain point in the story, they will not be able to be revisited. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're you know, grabbing this stuff if so specifically these treasure spheres, and then on top of that, actually the enemies as well. Just because, you know, once you progress too far, you won't be able to you know, fight them again, as well as, you know, the treasure spheres will be then lost. So, you know, I guess, like I said, just keep that in mind.
I'm no one's slave.
And I don't know, it's a good time to spam Army of One. Army of One, just like a lot of the other abilities in the game, kind of goes. Or there's a quote that kind of goes along with it. And it. So what Lightning actually says is kind of oftentimes dependent on, you know, where you're actually at in the game. And here I love her quote. She says something like, "I'm no one's slave." I don't know why probably my favorite quote in the game. While she's just, you know, wrecking ass. Pardon my French. But anyways, yeah, so I tend to spam that a little more in this portion of the game because of that. But anyways, alright, so we're spamming it again. To be fair, I think this is my favorite ability in the game. I feel like I used it a lot more in previous playthroughs, and you know, there's some really interesting or neat, you know, little tidbits about it. You know, I think I actually mentioned it in a previous video there. That you know, if you use it at the right time, it can be extremely effective. I mean, it already is. It always is a really good ability. It's just there are certain, you know, little hints that kind of go along with it that make it even more insane. But here there is I think this is considered are these considered Felsi, I think. And when you interact with them, they obviously, like this one, adds a little path, or adds a couple of paths here. Now, I'm not sure which one we're going to end up taking first. I think it's this way. I think we have to go this way first. But obviously two paths. One of them is just going to be treasure spheres, and then the other one will actually let us continue on. I like Vanille just kind of stops and takes a little breather there. Kind of crouches down, which I don't think I had ever noticed that before. But I guess she's not running around, so. Anyways, alright, so at this intersection, we're going to take a right, and there is one treasure sphere that's kind of, yeah, it's up here on this upper level. And then around this corner. And let's see what we have here. 4 superchargers, alright, very nice. So let's continue on here. And I'll go straight ahead. Alright, so what do we have over here? Looks like there's a Velocycle cruising around. And then here, there's one treasure sphere up here. You can obviously see it already. And then there's actually one down the ramp. And unfortunately, I had forgot all about that. And so we'll have to come back here to grab that. But you know, just keep in mind that's there, and actually, you know, if you're playing, make sure you grab that right now. Otherwise, you're gonna have to, you know, do like I did and do a little backtracking. Now I kind of sneak by this Thresher for the time being. I'm not sure if I actually end up beating that or not. I kind of feel like I'm going to end up taking him on, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm able to squeak by multi. Yeah, there, gotta buy him a second time. And alright, so what do we have back here? Uranite. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyways, upgrade item. Fairly expensive too. Fairly useful. Alright, there we go. I decided to take him on. I think I tried to get a preemptive on him, but he spotted me, so that was not going to be happening. Obviously, so I actually really like to buff up right away for these guys, and then after that, hopefully we'll go with the whatchamacallit, Paradigm Smart Bomb. Oh, sorry.
Follow my lead.
Just to get him debuffed. Oh, yep, there we go.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Felt like that worked pretty good in the previous video there, and we're gonna just blast him with Army of One, I guess. Like I said, coolest ability in the game. And wow, that Fulisad, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that ability is just disgusting. That really does a ton of damage.
Follow my lead. Take this.
So you see there too now, being that she's got that, actually technically it's the Enkindler equipped right now. Every time she lands a hit on this enemy, she recharges a little bit of her ATB gauge. So I feel like that's a fairly good. Oof, gosh, that's rough. That is a really rough ability. But I feel like that's a really good, you know, a combination of abilities or weapon to have on her, however you want to say that. And then, you know, on top of that, just the fact that she's still in the Ravager mode. Every time she lands a hit with that ability, it really boosts up the chain gauge. Now, once she actually gets to rank 5, or once the roll level 5 on a Ravager, that'll be even boosted up farther. So, you know, unfortunately though, I don't know if we get that. I don't think we get that until stage 10 Chrysarium. So that'll be like post game, I guess you could say. But you know, I guess just keep that in mind. It's going to get even better than it already is. So all right. Anyways, 5 turbo props. Alrighty. So some more inorganic materials, and then we will make our way back. I think that's all of the treasure spheres in this portion. So we'll head back, jump on this. I don't know, moving pad thingamajig. Platform, movable platform, I don't know, whatever. Anyways. Then we'll jump over onto this one, and then, like I said, so this will be kind of how to continue on. Now we've got definitely a couple more treasure spheres here, so we'll check what we get here. Sea King's Beards. Okay. Those are obviously organic materials here, and I think they're dropped actually by, are these Dragonites, I think? We'll see here. Dragonite it is. These guys can be a little bit rough. Now, luckily, I got the preemptive on him, but they can be a little mean, and I think they're absorbing water. Not that it really matters, you know. Once you're Ravagers figure that out, they won't use it anymore. But yeah, you can see there for the first, there's a couple of hits in there where somebody was throwing some probably, I don't know, it wouldn't be Snow, he's Commando, but anyways. Looks like they're, unfortunately, they'll use Slow and Daze, and there's a couple of other, I think, what do I have on here, Curse. So, I mean, you know, your typical, whatever these are actually ended, or whatever category these end up falling under, they kind of all do the same thing. They buff themselves up and, you know, debuff you a little bit. I think Daze is pretty common for that type of enemy. There's a couple more Sea King beards. We needed more. I don't know if we really need them that bad. Alright, what do we have up here? Ow! Almost got a primitive on this guy. Missed it by that much. Anyways, here I want to mention one thing. So what actually, hopefully, I'll be making a guide here on kind of like farming the sacrifice enemies. But you know, one thing that you really got to know about them is they only take half damage from magical type, or sorry, half damage from physical attacks. So it helps, especially to have your commando with you know, a balanced weapon. You know, that way they can still do really good damage with Ruin instead. And obviously that's actually how I have Snow set up there. He's got, I think this is still the Feral Pride, which I've been using since, you know, way back in Chapter 9. And again, you know, reason being is it's got really good growth both ways and no real disadvantage. So, you know, unfortunately, the only crummy thing I'd say about it is really it doesn't have any good, like, synthesizable abilities. It's probably like, you know, physical wall or something like that, and I don't know. That's a fairly worthless ability. It's better early on in the game, but, you know, now that we've got, you know, 6,000 plus health, it doesn't really matter that you're able to take off, you know, a measly 5 damage off of a physical attack, so pretty worthless. But anyways, and here I'm the other thing with these guys is I'm not really using the strategy that I normally do, and that's you know, having a Saboteur. That it goes a long ways once you throw D-Shell as well as Imperil on them. So alright, what do we get there? 2 vials of Aegisol. That's alright. So yeah, so normally, like I said, I usually fight these a little bit differently. But I think once you know, once I actually decided to stop and take a little bit of time to actually farm these guys up and learn, you know, a better way of doing it, that was when I kind of realized, oh yeah, okay, I should, you know, have a Saboteur going, because that's huge. And then, you know, really have your Ravagers with something like Auto Faith. Now, granted, you know, I have my equipment set up based off of, I kind of wanted, you know, to have the catalogs, so unfortunately, it didn't really end up being the optimal equipment setup for the time being, but, you know, that's also because we've only got 3 accessory slots, and that'll be solved once stage 10 Chrysanthemum gets unlocked. So, you know, again, now you completely up to you on whether or not you want to, you know, farm at this point in the game, or if you just want to wait until the very end. I definitely recommend wait until the end, or I should say after you've beaten the game and, you know, unlocked stage 10, just because again it's a pretty significant power spike. But alright, anyways, we're gonna maybe heal up here, taking a bit of damage from that death ability. Luckily it didn't land here. Although, you know, my impression is that it works the same way Vanille's does, and that it should really only be a 1% chance, you know, to land unless your characters have a bunch of status effects. But I don't know if the way the enemy's death spell works is the same as Vanille's or not. I don't know. I just assume. I don't know why it would, you know, work any differently, but and it definitely felt like I rarely got actually killed you know, by death. Now, granted, it does a decent amount of damage, you know, because the damage calculation is really good, but, you know, it just, I don't think I ever, you know, well, I shouldn't say that. I have been killed by its random, you know, effect, but it's pretty rare. Anyways, all right, so we got a gale ring there. That is one of those items that, you know, you can only get so many of those in the game, if I remember right. So you'll definitely want to make sure you grab that. And then what else do we have here? Tears of Woe. And then I believe actually there's one more treasure sphere. I think we have to, yeah, run back to the lower portion here, but I can't remember what it is. If I remember right, though, it's a weapon for Fang. I'm gonna take a stab and say the Shamanic Spear. That's my guess. I'm probably wrong, but that's gonna be my guess anyway. Alright. I think I was trying to make sure that, you know, I had all the information on these guys that I need. Which, you know, is a pretty good idea if you're trying to go for that complete data log, because, you know, once again, these items, or this area is not going to be able to be traveled to forever. So, you know, make sure that you're, I guess, completing your data log as you go. But anyways, I'm gonna cut the commentary here. We'll probably talk a little bit about you know, Fang's weapon. We'll have to do a little discussion on it because we're gonna obtain it right at the end of this video. So anyways, hope this guide was helpful, and hope you guys join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.